They have to have these meetings every month in public for full display. Notes and minutes have to be taken. The agendas have to be posted. The announcements have to be posted. And the minutes after the meetings have to be posted so everyone knows what was going on and what was agreed to and voted on in their respective district council meetings. So, district council members must hold at least a meeting once a month, as I've already discussed. They have to work with their district commanders and community members to develop and implement community policing initiatives. The Chicago Police Department has committed to sending commanders or a representative no lower ranking than sergeant to the monthly meetings. Sometimes the district council members want police officers at the meetings, and sometimes they don't. And they have that right to say that, but the CPD has committed to sending a high-ranking district leadership officer to every meeting. And if they are asked not to attend, they will respect the wishes of that district council so that the residents can have what they feel to be a more free and open conversation if they so desire. The district council members will work to develop and expand restorative justice practices and similar programs in the district. The CCPSA is committed to providing and helping provide resources, experts, subject matter experts, consultants, things of that nature, to have these programs in the districts when they are needed. The district council members will encourage the department, excuse me, the department and its staff to facilitate access to community resources, reports, data, infrastructure, clearance rate information, resource allocation of officers and equipment, things of that nature. CPD has committed to sharing that information with the caveat that everyone understands that some information cannot be shared in the manner or the time that the public or the district council members may need to share it. And I'll get to that in a minute. The district council members will assist in engaging with members of the public, including gathering input from the public regarding public safety and policing in the district. Again, that goes to the hyper localization of the district councils and the work that they're doing, because public safety and accountability doesn't have to look exactly the same in every single police district. District council members will report their findings and make policy recommendations to the commission. Again, the commission has the citywide systemic authority and approach and jurisdiction. The district council members have a hyper localized input from the residents, and they will feed that information to the commissioners, who then will make their recommendations and develop goals and best practices and report those out at the end of every year. And district council members will also have the opportunity to enlist volunteers to assist them in carrying out their duties. So there are 3 elected positions, and they can reach out to community stakeholders, professionals, consultants, etc., and other volunteers to make their initiatives, events, and things of that nature happen. So this is what I was talking to you about earlier. I'm sorry, this is one thing I was talking about earlier, well, on the previous slide when I said I was going to talk about it. After the district council members were elected in February, they went on, I hosted for them a 3-day training, and I took them to school. Each of the district council members went through an extensive 3-day training, and it included.
Asking you to pause.
Director Smith, we wanted to high level overview. I think we got a good overview. We're going to invite community members to.
I'm sorry, I'll continue. The district councils went through a training, and on one of the things that we covered was the information about the Bureau of Internal Affairs. We took them through a training on COPA.
Director Smith?
Yes.
I'm sorry. This is Max Caproni with the police board. I think President Foreman is asking that we conclude the presentation at this time because we have a number of other items on the agenda.
Okay. All right.
He thank you very much for this presentation, and he's going to encourage the members of the public to go to the commission website for more information.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay,
One of the things that from COVID, down. So it's little kinks we're gonna try to work out right now, try to clear that, we can keep this going, so we have maximum focus. Thank you, Director. Next regular public meeting will be held on Thursday, June 15th, 7:30 p.m. This meeting will be in person here at Iowa Public Safety. Or is there a motion to approve the draft begins for public meeting closed on March 16th, 2015? All in favor, please raise your hand and say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. The police board meets in executive session for the various matters. Those discussions are closed to the public as authorized by section 221, 4, 11, and 21. Information on matters discussed in executive session included in the minutes of the meeting posted on the website. There are motions to close the future executive session involved by these sections of the code. All in favor, please. Opposed? Motion passed. The police board is authorized by the open meeting act to consider imposing 2 police districts or regarding case number 10-2-3-0-0-4. There are motions to find resource to Mark Johnson guilty of certain charges stemming from the arrest. Denard Curry, not guilty of making false reports. Then officer one without case or 90 days. I now call on board for the vote. Locke, aye. Hughes, Worley, Montez,
Aye.
and I vote in favor of the motion. Voting in favor of motion with Locke, Hughes, Worley, Montez, and myself, the motion passes by a vote of 5-0. Vice President Wolf, Hughes, myself, and the state. 278-1-0 of the municipal code. There are motions to adopt the written findings considered that by all board. Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passed. Regarding case number 10-3023, Superintendent Miles Darby, police officer County, Carl J. Simon, record discharge, Superintendent Public Safety individual charged by president Carl J. Simon line from Chicago. Is there a motion? Motion. Second. So now calling members of the board for the votes. Locke, aye. Carl Bailey. Aye. Hughes. Aye. Worley. Montez.
Aye.
Thacker. Aye. I vote in favor of the motion. Voting in favor of board members Locke, Carl Bailey, Hughes, Worley, Montez, Thacker. Motion passed. I vote in favor. The written decision of the board for final action receiving will be entered as of the day given the parties of the posted on the board website. There's also one announcement that will be in disagreement with board member Montez to the Montez.
Hello?
Yeah. Do you hear me already?
Barely, but I could.
Okay, we're waiting on your disagreement.
Hello?
If you're ready, you can present your disagreement, please.
Give me a few minutes, Chairman Guillaume.
Okay, all right, we'll come back to this. Superintendent has requested the board commission to visit funds to break the cost of hosting 51st annual International Association of Women's Police Conference in the summer of 2024. Is there a motion to approve the superintendent's request subject to the board receiving and counting of funds raised spent following the event? All in favor of this enthusiastic motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passed. All right, Superintendent Wallace, we will have your.
Okay. I'd first like to say good evening to all the members of the police board and all the community members gathered here. As you know, we laid Chicago Police Officer Ariana, the president, joining your family and finance. Today is a special meeting, folks, and we meet in person for the first time since onset COVID-19. Earlier this week, we named the three of our fallen officers for added to the National Law Enforcement Officer Memorial during National Police Week. They were dedicated officers to practice COVID-19 while on duty in Texas. We lost them due to complications resulting from fire. I'll say that name. Officer James R. Sedgwick in the watch 08 December 2021. Officer Jose Herta in the watch 23 December 2021. And Detective Bill A. Holt in the watch 03 January 2022. Because we will always honor their great service. It's also my first meeting with the board, assuming this office. It's a privilege to appear before you and have Chicago Police Department. I represent generations of men and women working hard to engage our citizens and public safety. The building morale across the department is top priority. This is why I want our officers to feel informed and inspired. I also want community members to feel empowered. I want everyone to feel supported. And how we I'm proud of the work the department members continue to do. I want all to know that their efforts are appreciated and that they're making a difference. They need to know that we have their wills and resources, but we also value their lives outside the department. I think that if I can do that, the results will be reflected in our neighborhood. We want residents and visitors to feel safe no matter where they live. I know we have much more work to do. We'll get that done.
Thank you, Superintendent. Next, Chief Administrator Kirk. I'm going to ask you to use the microphone. We're having some technical difficulties with canceling. Now we directly into the microphone.
Okay, this is my very best. First of all, I would want to extend my congratulations to Superintendent Waller. Will be a privilege to report alongside you and department, particularly pivotal time for all community members and serve. You know, team presence at Officer Preston's funeral was a moment in which no one could be in that space and not recognize that that's a sacrifice that every officer makes when they sign up for this job. And also, the dedication with which Ariana Preston lives out the environment of her role as the police officer and community member here in Chicago. So, you know, as I approach my work, what I'm tasked with doing, I think it always needs to be clear that when you cope with this job well, it is helping the department continue to move forward. So I think there is my responsibility to do my job the best I can, to do her job, and make so many departments do their job every day. So having said that, I want to talk a little bit today. Typically, these monthly meetings, I report out on the staff month before. But today, in May, it actually marks the 2-year anniversary of stepping into the role of administrator. interim, and then ultimately being appointed as chief. In that 2 years of time, we have a lot of things that I'm very proud of, and that they're all attributed to the hard work of our staff. But I don't want to dwell on that as accolades or accomplishments. Instead, I want to talk about what is still left to be done. And many of the community meetings, engagement opportunities with officers, other stakeholders, one consistent refrain that comes up a lot when people talk about FOPA and about the timing of our investigation. We have demonstrated in many instances with high profile nature that we can do investigations and medicine. The police board itself, I think, is pretty familiar with one high profile incident involving the Brown, the Mark Evans, Steve and her representative came before this body many times, as FOPA concluded its investigation within the state. There's also a lot of high profile officer involved shootings, and we were able to deliver resolutions, whether it's agreed upon or not, conclusion in our investigation well under a year. Unfortunately, that is not the norm for every and every officer in our investigation. We have to do better at making sure that every case is a high profile. Because when one of these incidents happens to an officer who's served with allegations or to a community member who's impacted by police encounters, it is a high profile. So I want to talk tonight about our work to prepare to improve our overall case code, because what we really know is we have the ability to conduct investigations thoroughly, sound investigations on an incredibly short time period. We can't do that across the board because of the law. So let's talk about where we are now. As I said, I've been in this role for about 2 years. When I stepped into this opportunity, we had about 1,800 open investments. Currently today at FOPA, we have 1,407 people. Still a huge number, although it represents nearly 20% reduction in that. So we want to talk about how we got to that reduction. We first started looking at our case. That's the group of people in our investigation department that log all these complaints, answer the phone. They're there when a member of the public walks in. They are receiving an initiative complaint for from a member of the police department that has reported misconduct of law. And about 3 years ago, that intake unit had over almost 800 language in the intake for preliminary investigation. In the report today, there are only 2 cases in that intake. Additionally, in the last 2 years, we've created an internal operational unit staff, the deputy chief, the director of investigation, and the supervisor. Their work is focused on creating operational efficiency in the way we do the work that we do, trying to reduce barriers to get backlog, getting into on all the way. They're also leveraging data so that we better manage work and workload. Additionally, we have been evaluating our jurisdiction and discretion and how we exercise that. What cases require a formal conduct investigation. That's authorized under our book. Those are some of the steps that we took to drive this initial 20% reduction. What I really want to talk about is where we're headed. The 20% reduction is not a victory, and it's not really our ending story. Our goal is really to beat our overall kindness benchmarks that are set forth in federal consent decree, our ordinance, ultimately the office of collective bargaining agreement. And in all of those different parameters, there really can't ever be a case or an investigation that takes more than 18 months. And in fact, we need to be well shorter than that in order to really meet our mandate. So when we started talking about how we were going to approach this problem, and engagement stakeholders first and foremost, and heard from Director James Smith about the council and the petition for community and public safety and accountability. Those are the stakeholders that we first began in conversations with. We've also been in conversations with members of the department, CIA in particular, as well as some command staff from various districts. Also the federal monitoring team, so the independent monitors evaluate every testing process, as well as the office in general, and various community members across the state. And there will be more to come, whether it's with public safety inspector general, fire Richardson, many other community members, and ultimately city council. We are engaging in conversations because we are developing plans that increase our overall capability to be transparent. Current process that we have in the path towards reduction that we are on will give us maybe 5 or 6 years before we have a caseload that would allow us to deliver on the timeline that is completed under our ordinance. We have to do this differently if we're going to be able to achieve the kind of results that frankly the police department deserves, the certainly deserves. And so we began figuring out what the solution would look like by understanding what happens with our old investigations, particularly those very low level disciplinary recommendations that go into the arbitration process. What we learned in talking to the Department of Law and also is that we have an exceedingly low rate for our recommendations being held up or accepted at arbitration on those low level cases. So when an investigation is open. So we took that information and decided to explore the possibility of how we can use our non-disciplinary investigation authority, which is under ordinance, and also contemplated to resolve many of those old cases, less serious misconduct, have little to no chance of success at arbitration as a disciplinary recommendation. And instead try to provide recommendations to the department about where training could be sought as a possible outcome or other non-disciplinary. The operations unit that I mentioned within COPA, that's the unit of people that will implement this plan when we have finalized the criteria for what kind of people is eligible and finalize the process by which we make things like student recommendation department where they have the ability to respond and implement. Some people have asked in some of our conversations, why now? Why is it happening now in 5+ years in history? And I would say a couple of reasons for that. First and foremost, the consent decree when it went into effect in 2019 had a lot of requirements for COPA as well. Requirements about the way we draft policies, requirements about the way that we evaluate cases, thus our investigative process. We have spent an incredible amount of time in the agency exploring of our responsibility into that consent decree, so that we can have a process that we can apply something like this. And that work has been ongoing, robust, and why I can report tremendous success in our overall consent decree compliance increasing over time. Additionally, I'll say why now is about stability and leadership. When I took this job on 2 years ago, I was the 4th chief administrator in 5 years. I know the Chicago Police Department understands the transition of leadership and how that can be stabilizing. They too have gone through a lot of that transition. For the last 2 years, we haven't had a single departure of the senior leadership team member. And it is with that kind of expertise and institutional knowledge that I have surrounding me, supporting me, that I'm able to be confident in developing a plan of the rather dramatically. The other question we get is how do we ensure we don't get here? We're going to move forward and resolve over this non-disciplinary outcomes. What's to say in 5 more years? I can tell you that we are putting in place plans to ensure that things like our continuous mediation program, working with the departments to get back to allowing officers to resolve low-level cases through what they used to call mediation, but really an acknowledgement of accountability without necessitating a full investigation. We also have to continue to evaluate paths for making these non-disciplinary recommendations early, finding those cases in the beginning when they're in instance as opposed to after they've languished in our office. Those are the things that us to react. And simply this work is a tremendous benefit. Do this, really evaluate our caseload in this way. It will have untold benefits to officers, plaintiffs, and impacted parties, because plainly spoken, swift resolution or lack thereof of the justice implicate principles of procedural justice and fundamental fairness. Lengthy investigations build this trust on both sides, and we have to take action to protect that. Additionally, civil liability and the lawsuits that are associated with conduct, all of those things are completed when a disciplinary process, which begins with COPA in many of these cases, takes too long. Additionally, when we want to achieve and gain operational compliance, we're gonna have to do it. And then lastly, it's better consistency. If we have information, sound legal information, there's little to no likelihood of success for some of these older, lower level cases. Again, I want to stress, these aren't cases that are coming before the public court. Not cases where we're recommending separation, not cases of tremendous excessive force or off-duty misconduct involving sexual misconduct. It's not significant recommendation periods, lower level type of cases that have almost no chance. So when I think about being good steward of the resources that I have in my department, I have to evaluate how we use those resources. And this process, this is about being good steward of the resources that we have at COPA and the resources that are indicated in the Department of Law, and we have to review and implement our recommendations. Ultimately, this is the work of reform. The work of reform requires evaluation, requires being able to examine whether things are working and be agile and choose when they're not. It also requires hard decisions. And when COPA launched back in 2017, a lot of hard decisions went into, increasing our authority, expanding our jurisdiction, ensuring our independence by giving them the budgetary floor, by ensuring that we had access to legal counsel when needed. There were other hard decisions, like what the city wanted to do about the inherited backlog of 1,000 cases from our predecessor agencies that were not made. Those decisions weren't made, and in fact, COPA inherited the legacy for us, and we have been steadily working to address that over the last 5 years. We're ready to make hard decisions. And we're doing it with stable leadership, and we're doing it with the input of the community and the stakeholders that we serve. We're also doing it with the benefit of 5 years of learning lessons at the agency. Really comes down to me, and I hope for everyone that listens that it's about trust. Complainants and impacted families need to be able to trust that their experiences with police and their negative, and we bring them to us, they will be heard, and their complaints will be solved quickly. Conversely, police officers need to be able to trust that if allegations are made against them, they will receive resolution in a timely manner. And COPA staff needs to be able to trust. They're being set up for success if they have manageable caseloads, they can do the kind of job they want. We play a vital role in building trust, just like the district council does, just like the police force does, just like all the community members with vested interest in community success. We all have a role to play in building that trust. And we look forward to earning that trust, significantly increasing our overall resource and thereby the timeliness of our investigation next fall. The plan are fully developed and responsive. There will be many opportunities to provide updates, to hear your feedback. So please consider tonight beginning from this time. But when I took this job 2 years ago, it was on the promise that I would be accountable and I would be transparent, showing up to answer the hard questions, and by being clear-eyed and forthright about the work my agency that I do. And that's why it's important to start this dialogue tonight, here before you members of the board and members of the public, and I really appreciate you allowing me time to talk.
Thank you. Wow. Go ahead. Board Member Montez, you can come back.
Thank you very much, Chairman Foreman. Good evening, everyone. I was randomly selected from the police board's membership to consider one matter on which the chief administrator of the Civilian Office of Police Accountability and the superintendent of police did not agree regarding the discipline of 2 officers. In request for review number 23-02, the chief administrator recommended that police officer Patrick Bunyan be discharged from the Chicago Police Department for discharging his firearm in violation of Chicago Police Department policy. The superintendent proposed that the allegation be classified as unfounded and that no discipline be imposed on Officer Bunyan. After considering this matter, it is my opinion that the superintendent did not meet the burden of overcoming the chief administrator's recommendation for discipline. An evidentiary hearing before the police board is necessary to determine whether Officer Bunyan violated any of the Chicago Police Department's rules of conduct and, if so, the appropriate disciplinary action. A copy of the written opinion will be posted on the board's website. Thank you.
I will now call upon members of the public who signed up in advance. 2 minutes time. First, then I will do this. Good evening, President Foreman, Vice President, board members, Chief Sally, and Superintendent Fred Wallace. I think probably we're hoping to make it. First of all, it is good to be back in the room with you, and we appreciate all the work that all of it. I'm here to express a couple of concerns, and one of those concerns has to do with this new system that has created 2 new levels of bureaucracy that I believe the public further from the people that we need to talk to. The commission and the council. I think that those of us who are actually out here on the street, when I'm on 71st and Bedford, 63rd and King Drive, or 55th and State, I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anything. When I need to talk to the police department, I go to the district. I think the district advisory council serves the purpose that the public needs, bring matters forward to the department at the district level. We talked about the 7 commissioners, and we're creating more budget. I read in their purpose that they have to staff. How much does that cost? How many people will that be? We don't know. So, as you can tell, I'm not a fan of that. I think the police board, they focus, the police department, people that we hold accountable, and then the public can address in person without having an intermediary. We don't even know. So again, congratulations, thank you for the work that you do, Fred. We need you to stick around. One other thing, before I go. Former Inspector General, who took it upon himself to make a comment in the Sun-Times about the work that the community was doing on behalf of candidates that we believe would make a good superintendent before he started. I think that if Mr. Ferguson could have been a successful ferreting out problems in the other echelon of government than taking on the community, he would have done a much better job. Mr. Frank, so I won't be my personal side, but I will say that in the system that we have, what was asked for, what we have, what that we all come together to make complicated things. This is the system that we have, right? For better or worse, what we have. So I think it's important to be why we might Director Smith to come here today so we can get an understanding, right? We need the system that we have. I can make a complaint. I can complain about COVID. I can complain about the superintendent, but it's the system that we have, right? So we together, we work together. I think it's important. Come together, support, say, district council to make them successful and to hold them accountable. One can hold us accountable. That's right. All right.
So I'll make my comment. Going on 4 years working with our police officers. In a third, sixth, fourth, private, 7, 5. Because we are just then, with the whole plan. I think this is very critical in time, trying to, show that there are differences in other areas, and they were very, very successful with that. We went to the Citizens Academy a couple of years ago, and the Community Academy, this year we want to bring it outside, because there's lots of people that, want to attend it. Know our officers, know our district coordinating officers, know, get to know their families, how many kids they have, we embrace them. That's the way we do it. Try to be positive in this commission, but the negative stuff happens all day. So we're going to try to work with it if we can. So I'm getting older, I don't have the same patience. So you just comes out now, all right? Please bear with me. We're going to continue because it's our community. There are lots of things that we want to do with our businesses. We want to encourage that. We want to encourage development. We want to work with our new aldermen. We just hope that people will have open minds about what's happening, and then listen to us. When the commission came in, we knew nothing about it. We weren't told. I can't blame it on them. I can blame it on our political people that it helped. And that's a problem. That's a big point, and it tells us and some of the others that did not like. So we'll continue, we'll try. But we love our office. And we support our office. And so, because this is our part of it. People good evening. Welcome again to our president of our police board. I can only but echo our concerns that the president of our organization, Brandon Operations, has played. Unless we're mistaken, perhaps there is some other form of communication that we can use to express concerns and the opinion of the president. If not, if the improved language to express it in English, we feel quite confident in that language, that we can express our concern to the agents who have been identified to uphold the ordinances and the law in our community. We do not need a intermediary. We feel confident, and if for any reason this hyper-localization, as expressed by the director, is employed, do I have to be hyper-local when I travel in one of the 77 communities in the city of Chicago? Well, I have to modify my hyper-local address to the policing in the board. We should be making the work of our chief prosecutor better by having clear and concrete guidance. That is always the best policy that I have done in terms of handling HR questions or concerns. When you're personnel and you're expected of them and you train them and they respond for Black identified. So again, deference to our president, for people definitely have to. And also want to point out that we have not heard any information about how we manage when they fail to do their job. What are our avenues of redress for that? We need to have that clearly So again, this is back, it's those same papers that we will be right here, and we look forward to it.
I'm not positive of this, but I believe that CSA will really Thursday that we did for check their website. But I believe it's the district council. So check their website. Final speaker, Mr. Robert Moore. At this time, all members of the public side call. There are no. Thank you. All in favor, please say aye. The motion passes. I've been so used to saying this for so long. Feel the state, hopefully, feel very real threat. So, superintendent is gonna not only just pray for peace, but actively work for peace. All right, thank you.